Okay, hi everyone. Let me introduce myself. My name is Sri Karwinda Sega. To this video, I will explain to conclude poverty and population are closely connected and strongly influence a country development. Population and size and structure affect how many people need jobs, education, healthcare, and social support, while poverty shows how well a country is able to provide a decent standard of living for its people. From the case of China, we can see two important lessons. First, strong economic growth and targeted government policies can significantly reduce extreme poverty. Investment in infrastructure, education, and rural development can help lift millions of people out of poverty and improve their quality of life. Second, population issue can become a new challenge even when poverty is reduced. A declining birth rate and aging population can raise long-term problems, just such as smaller workforce and higher pressure on healthcare and social security system. Therefore, poverty reduction and population policies must be managed together and in a balanced way. Reducing poverty without preparing for demographic change can create new social and economic risks. Sustainable development requires not only economic growth but also inclusive social policies that support families, improve education and healthcare, and ensure that development benefits all groups in society. Okay, now I will discuss the condition of poverty and population in China in more depth. I will explain the current situation of society, the main causes of this issue, as well as the concrete steps taken by the Chinese government to address them, supported by example and data. Let's start with the population issue in China. China is now as one of the countries with the largest population in the world, with more than 1 billion people. However, the main problem today is no longer rapid population growth, but rather the declining birth rate and the increasing number of the elderly people. In recent years, the number of babies born in China has continued to decline. The birth rate per thousand people has also become lower and lower. As a result, China's population structure is changing. In the past, China was dominated by people of working age, but now the proportion of elderly people is getting larger. For example, in many big cities such as Beijing and Shanghai, the number of people aged over 60 increases every year. This means that in the future, the economic burden for healthcare and pension will become heavier, with the number of productive workers will decrease. There are several main causes of the declining birth rate in China. First, the long-term impact of the one-child policy in the past. For decades, families were asked to having only one child, and this mindset still influences people today. Second, the high cost of living, especially in big cities. The cost of education, housing, and healthcare for children is very expensive. Many young couples feel financially unready to have children, especially more than one. Third, lifestyle change. Many young people focus more on their career, education, and personal freedom, so they delay marrying and having children. The impact are very significant as the number of births continues to decline. In the long run, China may face a shortage of workers. In fact, China's economic strength has long been supported by a large workforce. In addition, the increased number of elderly people makes the burden on the government heavier in providing healthcare services and social security. In the population graphs shown in this video, we can see downward trend is the number of births over the year, while the graph of the elderly population shows an upward trend. Now, let's talk about In the 1918, a large proportion of China population live in poverty. Many people in rural area has very low income and limited access to education and healthcare. However, in recent decades, China has dramatically reduced extreme poverty. The government implemented targeted poverty alleviation programs, especially in rural and remote areas. For example, many remote villages that were once difficult to access have now been connected by road, electricity, and internet network. With better infrastructure, rural communities can sell their agricultural products to city. That start small business or find jobs in the other sector. Even though extreme poverty has been significantly reduced, relative poverty still exists. This means that some group of people still have low incomes compared to urban living standards or international standards. For example, in inland and mountainous areas, some families still struggle to access quality education and stable jobs with decent income. This shows that development gap between urban and rural areas remain a major challenge in China. The remaining causes of poverty in China include unequal regional development, big city crowd variety, while some rural and remote areas are left behind. In addition, lower levels of education in certain regions make it difficult for people to get better paying